Hey everybody, I'm Morgan.
And this is Ryan.
And we're talking chitty.
Where all those knobs went.
I knew where things went. I just started pulling cords out and I was like, does this fit? Does this fit? And it was like the really tiny aux cord and it was just dumping into that big hole we have. And I'm like, well, that's not right.
Well, I didn't even remember that cord. So I was like, hey, why'd you plug that in? So anyways, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to
Talking Chitty.
Man, that was bad. I was like waiting for you.
I'm sorry. I paused. I was like, wait, shit, what's the name?
I wanted to bring you in. I didn't want to just keep talking. So.
Well, hey, guys.
But anyway, so yeah, I guess we'll just start this off how, what we've been up to.
Yeah.
So,
it's been a while.
We're doing some hikes.
Yeah.
What are the hikes that we've done? I don't know the places.
Ramsey Canyon.
Which one was that? The one on the mountain?
That was the mountain one was the Hamburg Trail. It attaches to the Ramsey Canyon Trail. Ramsey Canyon is actually at the Nature Preserve in Sierra Vista in the Fort Huachuca Mountains. So you have to like pay to get in.
Yeah, that one was cool.
It's a beautiful hike. They have like these old buildings and these deer were just like wherever. It was just gorgeous. I would just love to go there and walk.
Yeah. What was the story about that? It was a mining town?
Yeah.
And some guy after the mining town went bust. Ramsey, he started purchasing up every single parcel because people were leaving and didn't want to live there anymore. So he got them for pennies on the dollar, and now that place is beautiful.
It's gorgeous. They're like trying to just maintain like most places, and they have these really beautiful trails, these gorgeous overlooks, and they connect to all these. I mean, if you haven't been to Sierra Vista, you definitely should check out the hiking trails. We were told all work camping season when we were work camping that tree lot about all the things to do and all the trails. So we're kind of scheduling and taking our time, and we decided to stay. We're actually still in Sierra Vista. We decided to stay.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place so far.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Yep.
And we actually get to enjoy the town rather than just be like kind of married to the lot, we called it.
Yeah. Dude, the sunny side of, what are these mountains?
Fort Huachuca.
The Fort Huachuca Mountains?
Yeah. Or, yeah, the Huachucan Mountains. I'm sorry.
Okay. So anyways, they that was beautiful on the backside.
Yeah, it was.
Beautiful in that lake.
What was that lake called? Lake
I don't remember.
Powell, I think is what it is.
Ooh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so this guy we met, he took us on a Jeep tour behind the mountain. It was a few hours. You can actually get to Patagonia from there. I don't know, but it's right on the Mexican border. So we actually saw some dude's scope flashing on the top of the mountain. I guess they have people that like watch drug money go to and across.
Yeah, he was glassing, it looked like, and he just had a cheap scope because you could see the reflection of it.
The cartel was just watching their
money.
Or
he's giving mirror signals, yeah.
Yeah, to
the cartel, like, hey, hold on, there's a Jeep coming.
Yeah.
Could have been.
We've heard a lot of stories about like cartel stuff happening on that side of the mountain, but like I don't know. I haven't really seen anything here. Crazy. Yeah. And we're like 15 minutes from the border.
I think the cartel's a little smarter than that. I don't think they're just like, they're not just some flamboyant trying to, they're doing everything under the radar. Yeah, they're smarter than that. They're not going to just be, hey, we're here, guns blazing, like the OK Corral. This isn't Tombstone. Which is right down the road from us. And I can't believe we still haven't gone to Tombstone, honestly. I forget about it all the time.
I know.
So
we'll have to go when we have some friends down just so we can make it like a double trip.
Yeah.
Because I heard it's one. Everybody kept telling us it's a place to see, but it's really touristy. It's expensive. It's good to go walk around if you don't want to spend money. And I'm not big on tourist towns, but I want to go see it because I loved that movie. And my dad was like always into westerns.
The one with Kurt Russell?
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Doc Holliday.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it that played him? Val Kilmer?
Yeah, I think so.
That is who it was.
Gosh.
So we've been doing some hiking, and we want to do Mount Lemmon. That's in Tucson.
Yeah.
And I hear that one's pretty awesome. But
there's quite a few hikes actually around here that I'm wanting to do anyway. But
we did some geocaching.
Yeah, that was fun. If you guys haven't done that, you really should download geocaching app. It's free. You can pay for like the bigger version, but we always do the free one, and we get a lot of geocaches.
And it's cool because they're like secret spy tools that you're looking for. Where
magnets.
Yeah, magnet.
Inside of a stop sign.
I mean, this thing is smaller than a dime.
Yeah.
And
really
it's
tiny.
just a little tiny cylinder, and it has a magnet on it, and boom, someone will stick it like underneath a culvert or something.
And you take it out. What usually they have like a little rolled up piece of paper.
Ribbon paper.
Yeah, and then you just write your name that you found it, and then you can even mark it on the app like, hey, we found it. There's hints on the app if you can't find them. We went back and found one. Ryan was like, I'm going to go back there and see if we can find it. And he did. He ended up finding it.
Well, it's because we found out we found a certain what is it called? Like the thing that it was going in, it was magnetic, and it made me think, oh, wait a minute, this could possibly be here, and sure enough, it was.
Rail.
Yeah. So
we looked forever for that one. Layla could not find it. But anyway, we actually got into it because of National Treasure. We watched National Treasure with the kids, and we're like, oh, we could go exploring and do treasure hunting.
There was a guy in my old unit when they went to Afghanistan. He was big into geocaching, and he put a geocache at the end of a runway.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man. He got in all kinds of trouble.
Overseas?
Yeah, in Afghanistan.
And he, like, gave away
on whatever
the
cop they
coordinates?
were on. Yeah, and he gave the coordinates. And it was, to
God.
the World Wide Web. I mean, it was on Geocache's website.
Was it a good geocache that he, like, was it cool?
I mean, it's not worth everybody's life on the fob, I mean,
Yeah,
you gave them pinpoint coordinates from that spot, like anybody can go from there and say, all right, well, let's shift.
He was an infantry guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I love you guys.
Man, sometimes...
I love you guys.
Sometimes we're not always 100%, every now and then we'll make some bad
dumb.
decisions.
Young and dumb. But yeah, so...
We've been playing options contracts.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Those things, you can lose a lot of money on those. I'm down $9,000.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been learning a lot. We've been paying for an education.
Oh, yeah. Don't play options.
And there's a time and a place.
It was my fault. I should have had a way tighter stop loss, and so it's 100%
He's
my
working
fault.
on it. You're getting it back though. We have found that I'm more confident now in stocks though, like in actually buying the stock rather than buying the option. The options are cheaper.
They move so fast.
And if you want to know what we're talking about, go to Robinhood. You actually have to give yourself permission on the app to do options orders, but please do your research. And it says like, oh, they're only 2 cents. What's actually like
understand the Greeks.
If it says 2 cents, it's actually $2, and you get 10 contracts.
Yeah.
Even though the
no,
stock
100
or 100.
Yeah, it's
I'm
100 contracts.
But if it doesn't go up or down, whatever way you're betting on it, think of roulette, right? Like if you're doing black and red, betting on black
I don't know
or
how
red.
to play roulette.
Okay, well you're betting on up or down, and if it goes down, or if you bet it on it go down and it didn't go down by Friday, whenever your contract ends, you just lost all that money. And I've been stuck in contracts before, and that is not fun. So definitely know what you're doing before you do it.
Yeah.
Because that was we're getting it back though. We're gonna be all right.
I'm not worried.
No.
I'm not worried at all.
I did
like
okay.
you said, I paid for an education, and so now what I do though is, so I've been buying stocks.
It's not like you didn't put in.
And so I won't play as many because I was playing strictly options contracts.
Right.
And it's funny. We watched that YouTube video and we didn't understand it. The guy he was laughing all the way through this options video, teaching you how to do options. And every time he would say, like he would have to say make money, because it just fit his, speech, his sentence that he was saying, he would just immediately start laughing. And we were like, why is he freaking laughing about this? Like, it makes no sense. Why is he every time it, and then you could make money. Ha 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 ha. And I was like, this isn't promising. But now I know, because look, I'm $9,000 down. And, but again, I've learned a whole lot in that whole process. So in that education.
Absolutely.
And so now I'm playing, I'm buying some stocks and playing options a little bit, and I use my day trades a lot for those. So if it starts going against me immediately, I just cut my loss. Boom.
Yeah.
There's no percentage, there's no nothing. It's just, hey, you know what? I guessed wrong on that one, because what I would run into was it would run down. I'm looking at all the technicals, and it's showing, hey, it should go here. It should be going up, so I'd buy a call, and then it would start going down. Well, then I'd be down $100, $200, and then it would swing back, just to either break even, make $30 or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Instead of holding on to this loss, I'm going to now just start cutting this loss immediately.
Yeah.
I guessed wrong at this time. So, boom, take it off after $10, $20, $30 versus – 10 or $100, $200, $300, $400.
Exactly. Because then you're like, we'll just see where it goes by then. And
risk
then you're
versus
just
reward.
Gonna fucking lose it all.
Yeah. If I'm not managing my risk on the downside, it doesn't make
Exactly.
the upside that great. So.
Yeah. That's true.
So yeah, Levi Strauss is that how you pronounce it? LEVI is the ticker symbol. They actually just had their IPO 2 days ago.
They were like $22. I don't know what they're at now.
Yeah, they were supposed to open at $16, and then it changed to $17, and then by the time they actually came out on the exchange, they were already up to $22.
It flatlined that whole day though, and then Friday the stock market went down.
Yeah, a lot of economic concerns. What is that called? Crap.
The Dow
No.
Index?
It has to do with treasuries, the bonds. The something inverse crap. It's just when like the 3-month and the 10-year are about the same, I guess, percentage-wise.
Okay.
So the economy's flatlining or something. I don't know.
I could see that.
I don't exactly remember it, but
and a lot of the big people, don't even have their money in the stock market right now.
I don't know. Mark Cuban, it was last year, said that he'd taken it out.
Right.
And sure enough, in October, it started to slide down. Yep.
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't think you should have all your money invested in it, but, if you're playing around, trying to make some money, do that.
Sure, man. What else? Oh, we've been doing some reading.
We've just been reading a ton. We're finally back in the mood to read. And our last, the guests we had, the Ruth Arts, actually gave us a ton of books, like 6 books that we've been wanting to read. Yes, they're so awesome, you guys. Ruth Arts for Adventure, if you haven't listened to the podcast, we did them, did the podcast, I guess it was last November, October. They came again and visited us at our tree lot.
Brought pizza
for
wine.
everybody. Oh my God. It was like 12 o'clock.
They were
and
awesome.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. We'll drink some wine.
We had 1 cup. Hey, if you bring wine, I gotta have a glass with you.
Yeah,
I don't even think I finished it though, because I was like,
we gotta drink
water.
Wait,
hold on. Yeah, I got some business I gotta do.
We
were solo cupping it up.
Yeah, we were. It was good though. It was a non-busy day, and
it was.
No, we got that load of trees in that day, like right when they got there. Remember? And so then I had to hire all the guys.
Was that the ginormous trees?
Yeah, because we stood it up right before they
that
left.
Was so
they
ridiculous.
got to see us stand it was like a 12-foot tree. They watched us stand up, and we didn't even know how to do the stand. One of the guys had to show us. It was crazy. You had to drill into the tree, put chains on it. It was
like an elephant's leg, the trunk.
It was fucking crazy.
We still have it.
Oh my God,
we still have a picture of it. Yeah, we can get a picture of it. Yeah.
Well, there is on our Instagram. Go look at my garden. Like, I actually have all my potted plants like on the stumps that we cut off of the trees. Ryan's so sweet, and now we actually use them as footstools for a little while.
What was the what's that? Your mind is a garden.
Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds.
I like that.
That's like my favorite quote.
Where did you find that one off of?
Pinterest.
Yeah. Speaking of Pinterest, PINS, that's going to be their ticker symbol. They just applied to they're going to have initial public offering as well. So they created their IPO status.
Amazingly enough, I get a lot of people from Pinterest to my blog. That's where I get most of my traffic from, is Pinterest, because I'll pin everything.
I even think Pinterest is cool.
Dude, yeah, awesome. It is. You can pin anything. Look, listen, you hear Mila trying to get in?
Yeah. I don't think anybody can hear
no,
it on here,
you can't, but she's over there like,
what's your Pinterest name?
It is, I believe it's the Krabs Homestead. I try to keep everything the Krabs Homestead or Chitty Bang Schoolie. You can search Morgan Crabtree though, and it'll come up. But go to my website; it has all that stuff.
I haven't been on it in years. It's great, but I think I'm professional American.
Yeah, he's professional.
I think that's
American.
what I named it.
You did it years ago. You were doing like it was like mustache stuff, right? Or truck stuff. You were doing all kinds of things.
I don't know. I was doing like shipping container stuff, cigars.
Yeah, the cigars.
Yeah.
I love Pinterest. I love it.
And the last thing I guess we've been up to is the working on our business idea.
Yeah. I'm excited about that, you guys. We have quite a few things in the works. We're still working out the kinks. So I'm excited to share.
Yeah.
And when we get some more information. Oh, check out our social media pages. I'm actually doing some polls for t-shirts. I'd love to get your votes. We're doing all kinds of different t-shirts. I want you guys
might
your
give people
opinion
an idea of what we're actually talking about right now.
Yeah, so
give them a little hint.
Head over there and kind of look at it and see if you can figure out what it is that we might be doing.
Yep.
But we do the t-shirts just to kind of help. I feel like that just helps with, it kind of associates. Like, I've been writing a lot of articles, and stuff, and I haven't published them.
Oh, that one article you did. Yeah.
I just did an article. It was called "What is the difference between marijuana and hemp?" Because that is a very big.
Didn't you send it to Tommy Chong?
I did. I sent it to Cheech Cheech Marin, right? And then I sent it to High Times Magazine. Hopefully we hear something.
You didn't send it to Tommy Chong?
I tagged him on Facebook.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah, I've kind of been trying to reach out more, and that thanks to the books.
You contacted High Times as well.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I'm excited. I don't know if they're going to take it, but I said, hey, if you want me to do any future articles, then maybe.
Did you really already say that?
I did, and I cannot
wait. I even
have
headphones
to
on,
play
and I didn't
this
hear
shit
that.
back, so you can hear it, and I can be
awesome.
like, do you see how you fucking don't listen to me?
Ever.
And we've heard it here, guys. You literally just heard it. Anyway.
But yeah, so we'll be looking out for that, and we'll see. Books. We've been reading some books.
Yeah.
I read, I think I talked about it on the podcast. I was going to read the book Never Split the Difference.
Yeah, you did.
And I read that. I do not remember the gentleman's name that writes it, but the book is Never Split the Difference.
Yep.
It's the Black Swan Group. And the guy used to be an FBI negotiator. And so he's a phenomenal negotiator. And if you've never read the book, definitely read that. It has a lot of, one thing that he taught me was that, so I used to think a negotiation was battle, and it was just just conflict is, I guess, the way I would approach it. Like, one's got to win, one's got to lose, and such a stupid way to look at it, because nobody wants to work with anybody like that. And, people listening right now might be saying, yeah, that's how I do it. But his thing was a negotiation is a discovery process, and he uses calculated questions and, other things that help him discover what that other person wants, and tries to use that, to work for him, basically, in the negotiation. It's never an anger thing, or, not an angry thing. Yeah, negotiation should never be angry, but it's not a power struggle. It's not that at all, the way he describes it. It's just...
And you used it. He recently used the techniques.
Oh, my gosh. And it really worked.
Exactly what we asked. We were selling our flatbed trailer. So one of the things that we're also doing is we're just kind of downsizing things we don't need. And you don't need this flatbed trailer we've been hauling around.
Well, before, it just starts rusting and losing value.
It was brand new.
What is it? Wait a minute. We
bought it for $4,700. It was a big Tex, auto hauler. We hauled the truck on it behind the bus.
So $200 rental fee for what, 2.5 years?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is great, man.
Well, no, we had it parked for free a lot of places. Just this last few months we paid.
But what we made off of it, sweetie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Shut up.
Man, so, you are slow. Man, you're slow.
I am going to hit you.
You heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that. I hope the audio picked up on that.
We have
when I have a black eye tomorrow, you'll know why.
Yeah. Just look, I'm going to put it on social media. I told you not to
What do you say to your husband that already has one black eye? Nothing. You've already told him once.
Yeah.
That's great.
I showed him the pimp hand.
But yeah, so Never Split the Difference. That was a great book. It was a quick read too. I only went one chapter. When I really want to study a book and really try to grasp the idea, I just read one chapter a day. I try to take it really slow.
By the way, so we ended up selling that trailer for $4,500. It was only $200 less.
Just went over that.
And you, well, I was gonna say the way Ryan did it, the guy was like, "Well, what's the lowest you can go?"
He actually threw me off because it, you can only plan so much, and at the same time, you want it to be a little more. You don't want to have everything planned out, and so I kind of went into the most open-minded I've ever been into any negotiation. And the guy asked me, "What is the lowest you would go on this?" And I thought, oh man, I wasn't even prepared for that question.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter what my, it didn't matter what question was asked because we had some calibrated questions that we had already designed to help us along in this negotiation process. And so again, he could have asked anything, but he asked that one, and all I did was just reiterate the price that was already online. And basically, you don't want to give somebody, I'm sure many people have heard the term, you don't want to be the first one to talk about money in a negotiation. Because you don't know what your counterpart's going to, you might cut your own throat by going super low.
Right.
And so I didn't want to immediately start, going downwards in price, because he talks about in the book that, you're now showing your hand of, well, he does have some room to grow or go down, even if it's like $1. So I just wanted to reiterate that price again and thought, okay, maybe we just start from there, and then he picks a price.
Yeah.
And the guy looked me dead in the eyes, and I don't know, however I said it, but it was enough to make him think, okay, well, fine, I'll just pay full price. I mean, it was the easiest negotiation.
Fast too. It was over
fast. Wizardry. Yeah.
We kind of get a little bit of practice doing that too at the tree lot. We negotiate prices a lot.
Literally all day. That's what we do.
Not everybody. Now this year we were able to put the price tags on the trees, where normally we'd have to go over and measure each
that
tree
helped
with
out
a
so much.
stick. And then the people would be like, "Well, is the stick really this long?" We're like, "Yeah, no, it's a fucking carny stick."
Yep.
And so I literally would have to pull out my tape measure and measure it for these people, or they would bring their own tape measure. measure and like pull it out. And I'm like, I get it. Like, you got to see if this fits in your house. But like, they were
yeah, but what small business is still doing that and still making business? They're not. If you're in the business of screwing people over, you're not going to be in business.
I mean, we must look like dishonest people to those. I don't know. But then, I mean, you just get the people that come in and they just want a good deal. That's it. Yeah. And so like, I would always get like, if it was an old man, he sometimes they wouldn't even talk to me. Like, only the wife, he would make the wife talk to me, and the wife isn't going to negotiate, and she would just keep looking at her husband like, should I say this? You know? And I'm like, yeah. And I'd give him a pretty good deal still, you know, like $10 off or something. But you get those hard rollers, and they're like, oh, I don't know, I would only pay like so much up in Maine for this tree. And you're like, man, come on. You're in Arizona. It's a Christmas tree. So, and that was actually part of the stuff we were going to talk about. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But the book he read totally helped with our negotiation
Never split
skills.
The difference. And I got that from a buddy, Jake Smith. And his brother, I forget his company name, but he sent all I guess his sales manager or something. I might be lying on that story, but he sent, I believe, you know, it was his sales managers over there, and Jake went along with him, and they got to learn about it, read the book, and he talked about it. And so, yeah, I guess that's what he wanted his company to do. And they go and find land, oil land, you know, land with oil underneath it, and pick it up for cheap, and then sell it off to other oil companies when they want to come in and drill, I believe.
That's cool.
Something like that. I don't know.
That's cool.
What was the other book? Now I'm reading Retire Young, Retire Rich, or Retire Rich, Retire Young by Robert Kiyosaki.
Nice.
And it's basically an entire book on leverage. So
yeah, Ryan kind of tells me stuff too that he reads. We try to like drop little things and hints to kind of maybe help us remember what we read and maybe learn it and process it.
Yeah.
I did. I'm reading Ego is the Enemy. I've kind of put that one down a little bit because I started really getting into the Gary V Crushing It book.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really something I've been needing to help me just kind of get exposure in our social media. We've been on there for so long, and I feel like we should be having some more traffic.
But you know what? You do have a pretty even platform where someone might just have 5,000 on one social media. You have about 1,000 across the board.
I do.
Evenly, and that's pretty rare.
I do. I got 1,500 followers mostly, I think, on
and
YouTube,
you've never paid?
Facebook, Instagram. No.
You've never paid? Never boosted any of them?
I did just this last week. I did. I spent $10. It actually didn't. It didn't do really well at all. And I thought it was an introduction post I thought would do well. So Gary Vee kind of talks about that, so I'm hoping to learn from that. I did boost a post, but I had a $10 credit from Facebook that they gave me.
I like listening to Gary Vee on his YouTube videos.
Oh, he's so blunt.
And when you read his book, it's just like he's talking to you.
Yeah, it is.
And this fucking shit over here, you're like, whoa, man, I've never read a book like this. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's the way my book would be written.
That's how mine would.
It'd be like a cookbook. Turn that shit on hot or something.
Turn that shit on high. Slap that shit on there like this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wipe his ass, take the horns off. Yeah.
What was that? Cowboy Way.
I love that movie.
So what's up with Ego is the Enemy, though? Because who taught it? David Heitman.
David Heitman recommended that on our last podcast. What is his company? He does Mom's Feet right now. He's working on a few new things too. But he recommended that book to me. I'm reading it, and it basically is, for me anyway, it's kind of reinforcing things I already knew.
But don't follow.
Yeah. But yeah, to kind of like give me like, hey, you should do that. You know, like, don't forget about that, you know? Okay. So that was cool. It's like stories, you know?
Okay.
It's mostly stories. That's all I can really say about it, because I'm really into this Gary Vee book, so I've kind of like dumped some of what I read.
In that Gary Vee book, Crushing It, he talked about, oh man, somebody had a story, and they were reading, or Gary Vee recommended reading biographies of, you know, people that either an industry you want to get in, or people you admire, or something you like that they did. How did they do it? And so I thought I need to start reading that book, Tribe of Mentors.
Yeah, that is a good one.
We have that book. We found it at the Goodwill.
Yeah, anytime we're like at a thrift store or Goodwill, we always go to the book section.
Always look at the books.
Yeah.
I always think of us as, and I'm not saying we're anything like this guy, but Jefferson, remember how he gave his whole library up and that became the Library of Congress.
That's gonna be it.
Dude, we have books in storage in Texas, in Arizona.
Couch.
We have them under our couch. We got them in the house. Like,
we probably should have built shelves.
One day we are gonna have to give up this library. It's gonna be like Library of Congress number 2. You know,
no, that's serious.
We don't like letting go of the books.
We even have digital copies. Like after the fire, we lost a lot of books. We had like college books. We had so many books.
Yeah, books we spent
books that we bought again
on.
because we didn't even read the ones we already had. We loved because we knew we knew we wanted that knowledge. So if someone recommended a book, we're like, let me get it. And it's someone I trusted, and it would just be sitting on the shelf like Rich Dad Poor Dad. We had that one on the shelf forever, and then we never read it,
dude, for years.
But then we bought it after the fire. We bought it again, had it, held on to it for a couple years during the bus build. We just did not want to learn.
I don't think it would have been time. I think you're going to come to a place in your life where you're like, you know what, I'm ready to increase my financial intelligence, and
something's going to happen. Your experiences, something,
What is it? We almost increased 10 times, our finances in less than a year.
Yeah.
In less than a year.
We kind of figured some shit out.
I think it's Robert Kiyosaki's book that really jump-started all of that.
It did.
And it's not, the coolest thing about his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is he writes it like he's his 9-year-old self.
Yeah, that was cool.
So you could understand this easily.
Anybody.
Ryan,
Our
she
daughter,
loved the book. Yeah. She's 13, and
she read it.
It really helped us out a lot.
It did. I think about it all the time now. Like we
weren't ready back then.
We joke about it. We're like, we actually act like we're poor all the time because we're like, oh, we don't really need to buy new shoes, even though there's a hole in it, But like, I can totally go buy new shoes, but I don't need to. Like, these still work. Like, it's kind of like,
I think we hit that time in our life where we don't spend money on materialistic things anymore. It's just not that we don't ever do that.
Yeah, because we do.
But like, instead of, when in our 20s, we would go to name brand stuff and buy.
Yes.
Now we shop strictly Walmart.
Man.
I wear the plain colored T-shirts that are like $3. George. Oh my gosh. I would love to be a George model.
You would be.
I love these shirts. They are so soft. They're tagless, so you don't have the tag licking you in the back of the neck, scratching
So, by the
you.
way, people, these are the only shirts he lets me buy him, and they're only just because I have to just get him a different color.
I only wanted one color, and she keeps buying me all these different colors.
I just get him different colors.
Yeah.
But it's the same style.
I always would just want to buy one type of pants and just get them all the same color and just have like 3 or 4 pairs in the closet. And then one shirt, and that's it. Like, I'm totally cool with that kind of dress.
And that's okay. Mark Zuckerberg says the same thing. Like, that's all right. He does that too. So, less decisions, right? And that's it too. Like,
I'm no genius, but yeah, it's nice just to go in your closet and be like, I already know what I'm going to wear because I really don't give a shit. So I got the girl of my dreams, so I'm not trying to impress anybody else.
I kind of mostly just wear workout clothes all day, and some days I don't work out. So I guess
it's your fault. You allow me to do this, and you're just like, I think you're beautiful every day, so I'm going to keep rocking it.
That's true. But I mean,
sorry,
as
we
far
got
as,
way off topic. I'm sure.
As far as that's normal. As far as like the books go, I mean, that's kind of what we've been doing. We've kind of been just getting back into reading, and we don't. In getting back with nature, we're kind of getting back into working out again, which I'm excited to talk about that on the next one.
Yeah.
And really just self-improvement. Like, we're always all about self-improving. I mean, why not?
Always.
And
since we've known each other.
I mean,
we're going to be married 16 years this year.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going to be together 17 years.
Wow.
I've known you, basically we've almost lived together as long as we lived with our parents. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's coming up, man. It is coming up.
It is nuts to think about.
Yeah.
That's nuts. What's going on?
I don't know. Mila's freaking out, attacking somebody.
It's probably a cat. But yeah. What else? What else were we going to talk about besides the reading?
We can get into the section I like to call Customers from Hell.
Boom, boom,
bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
Well, so we ran that lot. So we always do the lot, and it's about 2.5 months. And
it's a pumpkin patch.
It's not hard work.
Trees.
It's pretty easy, and we like it because we get to talk to people in a certain area, and we learn about the community. We learn, I met a guy who invited me to go out for search and rescue.
Yeah, that was
you
cool.
know, Ian, I've never called that guy yet still.
But we
and
have
I should.
so many contacts.
Oh, yeah, and you just gather so many contacts. You learn where everything's at while you're stuck in this little snow globe.
We never got to leave. Like, I would go to the store and come back right away. We're there 9 to 9 every single day that we're open. That's it. 9 to 9, we live there.
You're only there for 2.5 months.
Right. And so we're like, we'll suck it up. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So we basically get all this information and all these people's numbers, all these people that want to talk to us after we're done. They're always interested in the bus. It's like
this is how we found the spot we're at now.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Our friends, they found us on Instagram because of the Krebs homestead on the side of the bus, and they hit me up on Instagram, and they're like, oh my God, we're building a bus too, and we would love to meet you guys. And here we are. And, you know, this is exactly how it happened last year. It was, but we were selling honey for somebody, and he was like, hey, I have
He was a combat veteran,
So we noticed that, like, the more you talk, like, of course, people are going to ask you because we're new to the area. Some other people usually run the lot. We had new workers underneath us during tree season. So you get questions. You know, people are trying to figure out who you are and if it's the same company that's always been there. So we start talking, and then I'll send people to our bus, and a lot of people are either like, don't say anything about it, or a lot of people are like, man, that's really cool. Do you guys do this? And people think we're just like these travelers who just drive around and find roadside stands to run or something.
Right, I guess.
But I'm like, no, this is just what we do when everybody else spends money. We make money.
We make money.
Like, you know, because we'll see everybody else doing that, and we kind of do
We like to do the exact opposite usually of what everybody else in society is doing anyway. So
that's true.
When people are spending money, why not be the person that's making that money? So and most people don't have money during the holiday seasons because they've just leveraged themselves with, you know, debt. And so
adding stuff to credit cards.
Why people are spending, why not be in the position to create, you know, to catch those windfalls?
But some of the customers that we did have, I mean, here's the thing. Last year it was worse because I think we were closer to Phoenix, and maybe it's just snobbier. I don't know. But it was mostly the snowbirds. It was the older people that would always curse us out.
I don't think it was the people of Arizona. It was usually just the snowbirds. Yeah,
that's who it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't the Phoenix, Arizona people. It was the snowbirds from the north that would come to the south.
You Southern ladies and those north. The way you even said
those
north,
Yankees.
I was waiting for it to come out.
Oh, you Yanks! No, I'm joking.
Funny.
But if there's a different culture.
Oh, absolutely.
And the culture difference is astounding. And to me, it's when in Rome, do as the Romans.
Sure.
They don't believe that. And like I feel like I would say excuse me or like use manners, and like they don't ever do that, and then I would get cursed out. So my perception of the old people from the north, I apologize if you are, but a lot of them were really, really fucking rude. So I was over it. So then we got to Sierra Vista this year. Everybody was so nice. They were older people, but they weren't fucking assholes.
Of a mini Austin, though.
Yeah,
keeping it weird. You got people with, you know, tattoo sleeves and older, younger.
The military post is here, so maybe we got more of an eclectic mix of people.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And yeah, it's just been really nice. But some of the customers, there were very few far in between bad customers, but they were always like the nastiest people.
So they are very, very
just unhappy with their life.
They're the 1%. I mean, it was just the smallest amount of people.
We always laughed afterwards, though.
But the first one, so I got on the list is...
we have a list of them.
So this is how we label these people. Lady discount large family. That was
the pumpkin patch.
That was the pumpkin patch. This lady came... And, well, it wasn't just this lady. It was about like 3 families. Yeah, 4 families. They came, and they all come in. And immediately the lady walks right up to me, and she goes, I'm going to get a discount, aren't I? And I said, ma'am, I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. Why are you supposed to get a discount here? I don't know you. And she goes, well, look at how many people are here. I said, oh, well, sure. You know, if you guys, you know, come together and you guys are all ringing out at the same time, absolutely. Yeah, I can, you know, count a couple of them at the same time. That way it helps at least a little bit on tax, you know. And so what happened was every family just started kind of breaking off, and then they would come with like 1 pumpkin or 2 pumpkins and
leave it on the table.
And well, so you're getting ahead, but so then they would you know, come with their 1 pumpkin, 2 pumpkins, not a lot of pumpkins. And boom, I just ring them out like normal because they're coming to me like a normal customer.
Yeah.
And then the lady finally comes up to me with her family, and they have, I think, 2 pumpkins, and with 2 kids. And she goes, so am I getting a discount? I said, ma'am, you're only buying 2 pumpkins. She goes, yeah, but look at all the pumpkins that you sold. I said, well, in all honesty, we've only sold a total of 4 pumpkins, and now yours make it 6.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you bought that many
if it was
pumpkins.
10, maybe.
We had people come in and
20,
buy 100.
30.
We had someone buy 136 pumpkins.
Yeah.
Sure, when it's that big, yeah, I can definitely help you out with the taxes.
Though, but we're not Walmart.
Sure.
And we get all of our pumpkins from Wilcox. They're local farmers, like right down the road.
You're helping the local support the local economy.
But everybody,
and the local farmers.
There's always that guy that wants a discount. Like, do you go to Walmart and ask the cashier if you get a discount because you bought so many apples? Like, well, I just need all these.
Well,
why don't you give me a discount?
They go, all the families, they go back to their vehicles, and then that lady comes back again to me, and she goes, we're missing 2 of our pumpkins. I said, okay, well, they're not on the table, and everybody puts their pumpkins on the table, and you can see clearly there's no pumpkins on the table. I said, are you sure? And it was right after 2 of the cars took off. Mm-hmm. And I said, maybe the people that just took off, because 2 of your family, just took off, maybe
it was an
call them.
Unorganized mess.
And she goes, no, they were left here, and you had to have put them back. And I said, no, usually when people leave them here, we just leave them on the table as a decoration.
Or we follow them out. We're like, hey, you forgot your pumpkins.
Absolutely.
But her kids were like constantly picking them up and putting them down off the table, picking them up and putting them down. So who knows what could have happened. I'm not watching your kids,
And so then she tells me, well, you owe me 2 pumpkins right now. And I said, you know what? If that means that much to you, you can take 2 of these smaller ones. They're like $2.50.
Yeah, we're not going to give
it's
you
not that
ones.
big. And she walks up to these bigger pumpkins, like some $15 pumpkins,
ones
and
she
goes,
didn't even buy.
Well, yeah, no, nobody.
She got
nobody
like
in
a
the family bought
$6
those.
pumpkin, yeah.
And she's like, no, it was 2 of these. It's like, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. I can't let you walk away with these. These are actually our biggest sellers. And so, no, I can't just give you these 2 $15 pumpkins.
There's no way we misplaced 2
This
big
lady
pumpkins.
starts cussing me up and down, screaming at me, and just how ridiculous I am, how I'm cheating the people of Sierra Vista of their pumpkins, and she'll make sure I'm never in business again, and da-da-da-da-da. And so finally, she just wasn't going to leave, so I just looked at her and I said, you know what, ma'am? If it means that much to you, you can take both of those 2 $15 pumpkins. It's really not that big of a deal, but I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not your husband. You're not going to talk to me like this. You just need to go on, take those 2 pumpkins and leave. And then she turns around. Oh, well, wait, you're just going to give them to me? Like, I'm not stealing from you. I don't want them now.
Yeah, now she didn't want them.
So then she wants to argue about how I'm belittling her to give her these, $15
she just
pumpkins.
Wanted to argue, bro.
And, I mean, it was just, that was the lady
Check
discount
yourself.
Large family.
Check
that
yourself,
was that story.
People.
I mean, just
like, don't go in there asking for a handout from a roadside fucking stand. First off, you don't do that. You do that, go to Walmart and get a fucking discount. What's next?
You know what?
Can I do the
when
next
you just
one?
said no, it fits right into what you just last
Go
said.
get a fucking disc. Go to
the
Walmart.
second one is
my story.
Cadillac designer handbag Starbucks coffee.
Oh wait, that's
that is a whole group
that
of
is a
people
group of
actually.
People.
When people would come in. And we always knew if they drove up, I don't know why, and no offense to the manufacturer of Cadillacs, but anybody that drove a Caddy, they would come out and they would have a Starbucks coffee in their hand, and they would have a designer bag.
Nice shoes.
Those were the first ones to ask for a discount.
Yep. Or complain that the prices were too high while holding a $7 Starbucks, looking at a $7 pumpkin
with
that
a $1,000
might last
bag
until Halloween
in their hand.
And they're going to sit here and complain. But you get these people in these beat up trucks come in and they buy the $60 pumpkins. They
the
don't say shit.
Or the 60 ones, yeah.
Yeah, and they eat it up. And you know what? And I usually give them a discount because they're so cool anyway. And I'm like, so that's a big thing is like check your attitude at the door anytime you go into a business because I guarantee I'm not going to be nice to you. I don't have to be nice to you in my business. I don't have to.
Yeah.
Don't fucking come here then. Like I don't. The biggest thing is I'm on this lot. This is my environment, and I don't want people with nasty attitudes around me. And that is kind of one of the reasons I like running that lot. Like if that was a work camping position that I was gonna do, that would be it because at least I run that, and I could be like, I don't like your attitude, bitch. Go. And I did that actually. So. And
well, you didn't say bitch. You're a lot more professional than that.
I was. But
you're saying it now, though.
I'm just talking big. I'm like a troll. So
what is that lady? That's CrossFit lady. That is actually that's next in line.
Yeah,
awesome. Yep.
Yeah. So CrossFit lady, Halloween day comes in. We have tons of pumpkins. I was giving discounts. I think pretty much all day because we were trying to get rid of them.
Yep.
And we had a ton left over because they just brought us so many. Anyway, this lady comes in with her kids. she sizes these pumpkins up. My daughter, I had her typing in the numbers, right?
Using the running the cash register.
Using the cash register, yeah.
Because we like to teach our kids actual practical skills, and learning how to count money.
Yes, how to run the register. Like that's a simple thing that
how to count back change.
Yeah, I didn't learn that till I was like 18 at Sam's Club. You know, so whatever. So
I learned at Taco Bell when I was 16.
Well, your daughter learned at like 13 years old, 12 actually.
She's
did last
whooping
year.
both our asses.
But anyway, so she's running it up. I'm standing right next to her. Okay, the lady pays, and she leaves. And I guess maybe she came up and asked me like, what size, like how do you price this? And we don't have prices on these pumpkins. It's literally by size. We have all the sizes up on these hay bales with the prices, and we're like, hold your pumpkin up. The closest it is, that's what we'll do.
Absolutely.
And if it's a little less,
and if it's closer to the smaller one, if it's in between a $10 and a $14, you know,
we'll go 10. Or if it's in or 11 or 12,
12. Split the difference.
It just depends on the size.
Even though you're never supposed to split the difference.
So I told the lady, I was like, yeah, okay, but I think it was like a $7 pumpkin. They were each $7, I think. Well, she leaves, she rings out, she comes back, and she is like trudging through the tent. And when I say trudging, you know what I mean? Like they had all this attitude with it. And she was like beeline towards me, like eye contact and everything.
You knew beef was headed your way.
Dude, oh my God. I was like, I'm not ready for this. You know, it's Halloween, and I got this black makeup on my face and this mohawk. Like, I didn't feel like I could have been the most professional.
What was your character?
I was the chick, Charlize Theron off of Mad Max.
That's right.
I can't remember. Furiosa.
Furiosa.
So anyway, she gets in my face with her phone over my table. And she's like, you don't know how to do tax. You overcharged me for tax. I don't know what you're doing over here, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, ma'am, calm down. Excuse me. Like, no, ma'am, the tax is whatever it is. Whatever I told her. You know, I was like, this is how much it is at this business. Like, and so we're doing the math.
No, she told you that she charges like...
She charged whatever.
Yes, something higher than what is actually the taxes for this place.
I run a business, and that's not the right tax. She's like, you're just charging
I run a
people
CrossFit
too much.
Gym. She had to make sure to tell you that.
She had like a CrossFit T-shirt on and stuff, and she's like, this is ridiculous. And I was like, well, ma'am, actually, that tax is too high. Like,
you're overcharging your customers.
Is this amount? I was like, but you know, and I was like, we need to figure this out. But she was so in my face and yelling and talking the whole time and punching numbers on her phone. And like, I have other people in the tent, like, so they are loving this, you know, enjoying their awesome pumpkin patch. That's what we should. I should have had Ryan record it.
That's awesome.
So she's like in my face or whatever, and so I'm just not listening to her and I'm like, and I pull out my phone and I start doing math on my phone, and I'm like, no, ma'am, this is how much it is. That's your total. Because I looked back on the receipt, and then she says, you must have. And then I was like, oh, you know what? She goes, well, didn't you tell me that these pumpkins were this much or something? And I was like, you know what? Let me look. And I was like, looks like my daughter put in the wrong price. And so, and then I was like, we can fix that.
Because they were $10 pumpkins. Remember, we had a $10 pumpkin
discount
right next to the register. And because that pumpkin was next to the register, Ryan just looked at it, and we had marked $10 on it. Right. She knew that it was a $10 pumpkin.
The lady was just
You were going to give her that discount, and she just got mad that she ended up not getting it. And instead of being like, hey, you know.
It was $2 is
the
what
way
it
she came at you.
It was a $2 discrepancy.
$2.
And this bitch rolls up in a big-ass Excursion, okay, with fucking rims, and it's white. And the bitch is complaining about $2. So eventually I'm like, ma'am, I reached in my tip jar, I pulled out $2 fucking, and then I threw them at her, and I was like, here's your $2, have a great day, and get the hell out of my tent. And then I said, don't come back here. And then she's like, I run a business. And I'm like, that's great, I'll never come. And then she left. And I was so mad. I was like shaking. I was so mad. And I hate when I get like that because I look like a little bitch. You know, I'm sitting there like shaking my hands are shaking. Well, Ryan ended up stepping in at one point, and he was like, ma'am, you need to calm down.
Yeah, I had to tell her to calm down because she was screaming at the top of her lungs.
And she's like, he's like, she's not even listening to me. And I was like, man, I'm not going to listen to you because you're being really rude. Like, who the fuck comes in? Like, if she would have came in and been like, hey, you know what? I think we had the price wrong. Like, could you check that receipt?
Yeah, we got a problem. Let's figure this out together.
I'm like the coolest person. I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Oh,
and I would have given you your money back. It would have been so easy. But instead, she wanted to belittle me. Maybe her husband beats her. Maybe she just got in a fight with him. I don't fucking know.
Maybe she beats her husband.
Yeah, she might have, dude. She might have had a dick. I don't know. She might have been husband and woman and wife. I don't know. But she was intense. You don't
She was
come
very
in.
intense.
You do not come into someone's business with your bullshit. You don't bring your baggage in.
She was a little mentally unstable.
She was definitely, and I felt really terrible for her children. They were younger, and I'm like, oh God, these kids are gonna be psycho killers one day. I don't know, but she pissed me off. So people, just remember, don't be a bitch. Because you're going to get that same thing back. And then you're going to get kicked out of a pumpkin patch. And you're never going to get to go again. And let me tell you what else. The reason why they even had to come to ours. Walmart had been. And everybody was sold out for 5 days.
Yeah.
We were the only ones with pumpkins. And we were still giving discounts.
With smiles on our face.
With smiles on our face. Every day waking up 9 to 9. Sitting there eating dinner out there. I don't care. It's fun. We enjoy it. Or else we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But when you get customers like that. You kind of are prepared.
Anybody who's ever ran a business, though, they've had
that.
to go through that. They've had those customers. And again, they are few, far in between. They do not make up.
No.
They don't. They barely make up, I mean, the minority. They are a subsection of the minority of people that will come, you'll interact with. So
in Casa Grande, we had more negative customers.
I think you get real heated about it. Me, I like to laugh about it. It's funny, That's
because I have little man syndrome. That's
why.
I just want to be like, get out of my face,
Maybe. I don't know.
But what was the next one? The next one was Christmas tree season.
Unaware Family Guy.
Oh, that was Pumpkin Patch.
That was Pumpkin Patch.
There was a lot of Pumpkin Patch people that were in bad moods.
There was only one. Oh, the only customer from hell we didn't do was Sexist Lady. We'll have to get to Sexist Lady after Unaware Guy.
Yeah. Okay, so the Unaware Family Guy, did you want to talk about that one? And this is actually a lot of parents. Okay, so people would come in for the experience of coming to a pumpkin patch. Otherwise, you go to Walmart. Okay?
This could apply to, a lot of people. And if you're listening to this, and just be honest with yourself. Be like, oh, shoot, this could be me. So the thing was, there was a family that came in, and the kids and the wife, they were having such a great time. They were taking pictures together. They were looking at everything. They were just having a great family
they were
experience.
Older kids.
That is the entire point of this pumpkin patch is to bring a quote-unquote pumpkin patch into the middle of a city.
Right.
That way, children or even adults, that just want to have that feeling.
Right.
They can come out, during the weekday, weekends,
you don't
and
have to drive
enjoy.
2 hours.
Yeah, you don't have to drive 2 hours, and you're not paying, expensive prices.
No.
So the guy the entire time was on his phone, and he's just Facebooking it up, and you can just see the blue screen. And anyways, the guy was missing every experience with his kids.
Kept calling his name, and he wouldn't even look up off his phone.
His wife kept calling his name.
Like, you're missing life right now.
And I had just came out and made us some food.
Dinner,
and so it was, hey, time for us to eat. We haven't eaten
We
yet.
had already asked him. We were like, hey, do you want us to take some pictures of your family?
That's right. That's right.
And because we both had walked over there on a couple of different occasions, like, hey, are you guys ready to take your picture? Because I have this awesome display that me and the kids and Ryan do, and so everybody can take their picture in the pumpkins. And they're like, no. So fine, they were there for like almost an hour. They were there for a long fucking time. Ryan comes out with our dinner, and we sit down to eat, right? And I had just asked the guy if he wanted us, because I knew we were about to eat. And we sit down, and this guy is so unaware.
But he tells you no.
And
No, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, and then we literally just sat down with a hot bowl of food. It was so cold outside. It was starting to get cold.
Yeah.
And we start eating this hot chili or whatever it was, and then he's like, oh, hey, can you take this picture?
That's right.
And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, did you not just see me do
No big deal,
Whatever. Yeah, I'm like, it's a little rude, because, like, I've already asked you 100 times. I just got my dinner. Whatever. You don't know I'm about to eat, but I am eating. But you're not even aware of your family. It was kind of just, it went into the whole thing. Like, you're just not even aware of your surroundings.
After we took the picture, or you took the picture, it was, I asked him, so are you guys ready to check out now? Because his family was seriously just standing there with their pumpkins while he's still face down on his phone.
Yes.
Remember, the entire time he would walk around, I don't know.
And he was in his
how
50s,
he did
guys.
Not
He was not a 20
over a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Because this guy, and he was, 40 years old at least.
50s, 40s,
I don't know. He
dude.
wasn't 50s. He was at least 40.
Then at least 40.
So I asked him, you ready to check out? No, we're not ready yet. Oh, okay. And then we go back to eating, and then we're ready to check out now.
Like, as soon as you sat down.
Oh my God.
It wasn't. It's not even like a 2-minute time frame.
No.
It was literally like seconds.
Right after saying
every
no.
single time. And it's like, it's funny because people they don't know how to make up their mind either. So, and it was like late at night. It was
so
like
guys, ladies and gentlemen, get off your phones when you're going out to experience something with your family.
Experience
it. Don't make these videos that you're never going to watch again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't worry about, I can get an awesome Facebook post on this. Get one Facebook post on it and then spend the rest of the time with your family. Enjoy that time with them, because before you know it, we only have 4 more years and Ryan's going to be 18 years old. So
I know.
I don't know. It's sad. But let's get to Sexist Lady.
This is, I think, pretty much the last one. She was at the tree lot. So
she was a nice ball of crazy.
When you come to our tree lot, I'm usually the first person to greet you if it's not Ryan, but usually my job was greeter.
I try to make it Morgan. She's prettier.
Ryan does a lot. Ryan does more of the heavy lifting too. So, I have this spill I give everybody. I say, welcome to Valley View Trees. I tell them about if your tree dies, you can bring it back up until Christmas Day.
For a warranty.
Just really, and I try to make it quick. I don't want to over explain it. And I'll be like, these trees are from this place. Ask me if you have, and this is how old they are. Ask me if you have any questions. So
I was walking out with a tree literally over my shoulder,
and I was
like an 8-foot tree.
Yep, and I was at the register.
And I was walking to go tie it off on a vehicle, and I saw this woman come in. So I just welcomed her. Hey, welcome to Valley View Christmas Trees. I'll be with you in a moment. And then went off to go tie this down.
Yep.
Well, when I was coming back through the gate, a gentleman was walking in, and so I gave him the spiel. Welcome to Valley View. Boom. Started it. And this lady, same thing, like CrossFit lady, she came trouncing through this forest of trees
towards me
and starts screaming at me. Well, why didn't I get this greeting? What is it, because I'm a woman? You hate women or something?
I did try to give her the spill. She went right after I was on the register with somebody, and she walked in, and I was like, "Oop, I need to grab her," because we were short. It was just us working, and we got in a little bit of a rush. So I went and found her, and I was like, "Hey, ma'am." And here's the thing, people: if you don't fucking look at me and you don't acknowledge that I'm even there, I'm gonna be like, "Okay, never mind. Have a great day," because now I'm wasting my time.
Yeah, and I don't want to be in your space. You might not want to hear it.
You don't want to hear this shit, then I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah.
But it's good information. But if you wanted to hear it, you would acknowledge me. She didn't acknowledge me. It wasn't crowded. You knew that I was there. She knew I was there, but she literally turned around and walked away. So when she hears Ryan, and I'm walking back to the register, she hears Ryan give this spill, and she does an about face and starts going towards him, and I'm right there. And she's like, "You're sexist, and I didn't get that. You
hate women.
You don't like women." And I looked at her, and I just started laughing. I was laughing so loud. And she's like, "It's not funny."
I was raised by a mother and a sister, and I have a wife and 2 daughters. I have been fortunate enough to be surrounded by beautiful women my entire life. I have nothing against women. So that's why you told me you laughed that one time.
I did, and that's why I laughed. I'm just sitting here thinking, what is your problem?
You don't even know
lady?
this guy.
And so Ryan comes up, and I'm like, do we need to ask her to leave? So we find out that guy Ryan just talked to is with that woman.
Well, because he comes back up after, because I went to go clean up an area, and the guy walks up to me, and he goes, "Man, I just want to apologize for my wife or mom," whatever he was. He goes, "I want to apologize for her. She can be like that sometimes. She's pretty hot-headed." And so I'm still cleaning up, and she comes walking up to me, and the whole time she's bitching throughout the forest of trees.
Yeah,
and we have people inside the tent. We have kids inside, and so, but I don't want to engage her again. I kind of, maybe she'll lose steam and talk herself out, or talk herself down. But so she comes walking through, finds me again while she's still walking through, bitching and complaining. And I finally just turn around and I look at her and I say, "Ma'am, you're more than welcome to say whatever it is that you need to say to me. Get it off of your chest. But then once you get it off, let it be it.
Yeah.
But you can say whatever you want to say about me." And she just kicks it all up again. Yeah. Boom, that stirred her up again. And so about, I would say, if I'm being honest, a good 45 seconds of just her talking down to me, screaming, cussing at me. And I finally just looked at her and I said, "You know what, ma'am? You can leave right now. I'm not going to sell you a tree." And she goes, "Well, I already found one. I came to tell you about this."
But you didn't.
And she didn't. So I just, I'm just not going to take this anymore. "No, ma'am, you need to leave right now."
Yes.
And then she's like, "Oh, well, you're Mr. Grinch. Now I guess my family doesn't get a Christmas tree."
I guess not.
I guess not. Not with an attitude like that.
You're being a nasty
You don't get to
bitch.
treat people like this and then expect something. So the lesson and the moral of the story is, guys, take it from us. Take it from someone who has experience in this. If you're looking to get a discount on anything, a Christmas tree, a pumpkin, a car, anything off Craigslist or OfferUp or anywhere,
don't be an asshole.
when you're going to negotiate with somebody, you're going to get a lot more out of them if you treat them with respect.
Dude.
But if you come at them, and again, they might be one of those people who really think a negotiation is a fight, not just a battle, just an actual fight.
Many people were like that last year, I remember.
The more aggressive you come, the higher your price is going to be out the door, I can guarantee you, because
it definitely will be.
they are the gatekeeper of the prices.
Yep.
So if you want to grease the gatekeeper, you better treat them a little nicer than any of these stories under customers from hell.
It's easy.
And again, they were a very, very small minority.
But they stand out because they had so much negative energy, and it's
they stand out because they're hilarious.
And they leave all this, and it's like, oh my God. Yeah, when there was a few more, but like we just wanted to tell you that because just so you know, like, if you're having a bad day, like, don't go into someone's business.
Maybe don't go to public.
Yeah, that's what I do. Go home. Like,
that's what I do.
Don't go and try to push it because it's only going to get worse. You guys know that. If it's a bad day, it's a fucking bad day. You stubbed your toe, whatever. Go home.
They took Dave Chappelle literally in the sense of, you got hate in your heart, let it out.
Dude, they did, and they let it out in our tent. We had one guy tried to convert us religiously. Remember, he came
we got saved.
Our tent. We got saved. We were like, did we just get saved? He came in to tell us about the Lord, and I had to tell him we already knew about him, and we appreciated it, but he needed to find a different white tent.
Yeah.
To go preach
you know what it was is he shows up. Remember, we're out there for 12 hours a day.
It was like 8:30, 8:45.
He shows up at like 8:50, and he shops around. And again, if you're in the tent, I'm not going to rush you.
No.
Enjoy the experience. Maybe this guy worked all day long, and we at least are in a frame of mind to understand this guy, we don't know what he does.
Right.
I mean, he's just a stranger, but maybe he just got off work.
Yeah.
Maybe, he's going to go home and give his kids, some pumpkins because they've been waiting for it. His wife might have asked for it, or maybe he just got divorced and he just wants to do something nice and get some pumpkins for when the kids come this weekend.
Yeah.
We don't know the situation, so we just say nothing to the guy other than, hey, welcome. If you have any questions, we'll help you with the pumpkins.
Yeah.
And he walks around till about 9:05 or so. And then we get to the register, or he gets to the register, and we close at 9, right? Or 8.
Well, he asked, like, what time do y'all close? We're like, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, we didn't say that. We just said we close at 9.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I'm kind of holding you up. And we just, no, you're fine. Just enjoy your time.
Yeah.
And what are we doing? Nothing.
Yeah.
And
go take a shower and go to bed.
So then we're trying to ring him out. And he keeps preaching the gospel to us. And
y'all know Jesus? Did y'all find the Lord?
His card kept getting declined, and I don't think we got out of there till about 9:30 with him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad experience.
No.
It was just another funny experience. So Morgan and I look at each other right after he left, and did we just get saved? We just want to go in and take a shower now. We've been out here all day.
We had some really good customers. We had some really great tipping customers. The people that went to the pumpkin patch and now they came to the tree lot and they recognized us again. They're like, oh, y'all are here. And then we did the fireworks, and they would come and they would still tip us for fireworks too.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't tip at fireworks, but I have a jar there and people tip you.
The best tipper, and I'll say the coolest tipper, because normally, if you get $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, that's you're somewhere within $1 to $5 that somebody's going to tip you for just helping them with their tree out the door, tying on their vehicle, sticking in the back of their truck,
carrying it, chopping it, doing the work.
It wasn't even, we had to close early that day because it was like monsoon type weather. It was strong really winds, very heavy rain. And we were flooding out because the lot that we were, stationed at, it was, had a little depression inside of it. Ugh. And so, but it was raining hard, and this couple comes in, and it was very, very cold. And we helped them out. They were so nice. We get them out to their vehicle. We tie everything up, and I'm turning to walk away, and I saw the husband and son take off towards the gas station. And the wife's like, well, hey, don't go in yet, because I heard you guys say you were going to close up shop. My husband's going to come back with a tip. We thought, oh, okay, cool, and just when someone says tip, I immediately go $1 to $5. That's usually where it's at.
Yeah.
And they came back with $20 tip. God. And so, remember, if you're used to a $5 tip, $20 is like $100 basically. And I
gotta tell you guys, the people that would tip the best did not drive the nicest cars.
No.
They usually had the crappiest car, which is fine because you don't have to have a nice car to be rich. Most of those people are broke anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm saying
because it's all on credit.
But it's people that you would, if you're and everybody does it. Everybody profiles like, oh God, what's this person? But it was always the people, and they in the most worst cars, or maybe they weren't the best dressed, or whatever. You would have people come.
They definitely weren't drinking Starbucks, driving a caddy, wearing a designer
bag. And they would
bag.
always tip so well, and it's like they would always say thank you, and they were always so nice, and like I would give them the best discount I could.
Absolutely,
every single time. You know, and half the people didn't even know I gave them a discount. I didn't have to tell them.
No,
they would just be like, "Oh, how's my total cheaper than what she told me?" You know, and then sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, thank you," you know, and they would just say thank you because they saw that it happened. And some people didn't even notice because they were blissfully unaware, and that's fine. I don't care.
Absolutely.
You know, it made me feel good though. You know, if you're a good person, I'm gonna give you good things because good things happen to us all the time because we're nice and we're patient and we're not. That's how we got our freaking grass so damn cheap outside. We got this crazy huge grass from Home Depot, and it was supposed to be like $700. We actually were like
$300.
We were gonna have it one size, and we're like, oh, we can't do that size, that's way too much, it's like double the price. So we're like, all right, we'll just cut it this way. And he was like, oh, it's the end of the roll, I'm just gonna give you guys this extra 5 feet or whatever the hell it was. And so then he wrote the price down.
I don't think it was 5 feet. It wasn't that extreme.
It was like maybe 3 feet or 2 feet. It was something. And it made a difference. So I remember when we rolled it out and I was like, oh, I'm so glad he hooked us up and gave us that. But then he wrote a price on the side of it. But the cash register lady took a different price, which was cheaper. And so I didn't say anything. And so we ended up getting this like $700 roll of grass for like $200. It was ridiculous. And I looked at Ryan and I'm like, that. And we had to wait a while for that guy to do that. Remember, we had to wait a while. We were like, oh, it's no big deal. Whatever. We're just waiting. Take your time. You know, we're not in a hurry. And he was really fucking cool. And he totally hooked us up. Things happen like that. And I'm like, it's because we're nice. You know, we're having fun with them usually. We'll like joke with them and stuff, you know.
My favorite one out of good customers was, and how I titled it was, Night We Lost Keys, 1 hour drive.
Oh, my God.
That was, I mean, what is that song? Like... I mean, that would be our montage theme music for anybody that filmed that. This couple drove from Douglas, Arizona to Sierra Vista. And it's
Ryan
about
was
an
in
hour
the shower.
Drive. I had just gotten out of the shower.
Because we just closed. It was like 9:30.
And we got this call. This guy had driven an hour, and, you know, he wanted to see if he could still get some trees. And, again, we just worked our 12-hour day, and I just got out of the shower, got clean. But, again, someone just drove 1 hour to do this with their family.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Whatever I'm doing doesn't really matter. Like, I would want somebody to do that for me. Yep. So treat others how you want to be treated.
Yep.
And so we start looking for the keys to open up the connexes that have, you know, all the
tools, the gate, to open the gate,
to open
even
the
to
gate,
let people
to get
in.
the lights on, because we had, you know, shut down the generator and
put the generator up. So we were on our generator on the bus.
So I go out after like 10 minutes of looking for these keys just to make contact with the guy because he's standing at the gate. And I just explained to him, you know, hey, give us a second. I'm looking for the keys. We just locked up. I can't believe I can't find where the keys are. I think we might have locked them in the Connex.
Oh, my God.
We're looking for this. And so the guy, I have a DeWalt flashlight, and I'm just shining it into the forest of trees. And I'm like, do you know what kind of tree you want? You know, and he's like, well, I think we get the Douglases or this, but, you know, what are the prices going? So I'm running in and out of the tent, and I'm bringing trees that have a bowl of water attached to them.
Yeah, your feet are always wet at this lot.
And so I'm dragging, I think I had about 4 or 5 trees out there.
Dude, you had like a forest by the gate.
And I finally hand him the flashlight, and I start like 360 turning these trees. Like, what about this one? I'm Vanna White.
Service.
Yeah, I'm giving them like the best I can between a gate, you know?
Yeah.
And
finally, I'm in here looking like crazy.
You can't find it,
no.
So I just start hearing a lot of banging.
I took it from Ryan's book, like, and from grunts in general. If like something doesn't work, just get a bigger hammer. That's what Robbie says. So I get this crowbar and I'm like prying this lock. It's a brand new lock. Like, they just bought this lock, and I pried it, and then I banged it 3 times, and the shit came right off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I fucking just did that. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. So I get in there. Sure enough, we put the fucking keys in the cash register in the Connex.
Oh,
but
my
here's
God.
the thing. We had a spare set.
We did that a couple times.
Hanging in the bus. Where the fuck did that spare set go?
We found them on the ground, remember?
The next day, we were like, oh, well, there's a spare set, no problem. But the next day, we found them in the dirt, like way away from the house.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why they should. I don't know how the fuck they got over there.
Who knows?
So anyway, and then I forgot. I was like, oh shit, like we could totally plug the lights into our generator on the bus. We could just unplug the bus real quick, you know? So then they at least had the lights, you know, and then they came in and they were able to look at some stuff. But then we ended up giving them a really good discount because that's all the money they had, and they wanted to get 2 trees.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get a tip, which
no big
is
deal.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, maybe next year they'll come back.
My
and
tip
us.
was honestly, now at least they get a Christmas, you know?
Yeah, that was
and
sweet.
because they almost, I mean, we were already trying to help them, but then we screwed them over by losing the keys. And so they almost didn't get to come in and get a tree, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, it did take a little longer, but they were able.
They at least got squared away.
I hope, if anything,
Luckily,
I hope
they were
didn't.
patient.
That's what I was saying. I just hope they didn't look at that and be like, "Oh my God, this place is so fucked up." I hope they were like, "Man, that really sucks that happened," and they worked really hard to make sure that we got a tree. Yeah, I hope so. And we had people bring us freaking lasagna.
Yep.
She came on our break, but right when we started the podcast, actually, and she was like, I think I even talked about it then, and I was just like, this lady brought us lasagna because she just liked that we had the pumpkin patch here.
Yeah, she appreciated it.
And we got vegetables and fruits from
the neighbors.
From our neighbors.
Yeah.
Just all kinds of stuff. People were just nice.
We have, the lasagna lady, goat soap lady.
Oh, Addie, yeah. So she does like a goat rescue farm, and she makes goat soap. And we gave her a bunch of the Christmas trees at the end of the year, which was cool. And she brought us a ton of goat's milk soap.
Remember, she ended up telling you, because her neighbor came and brought a, 30, 40-foot trailer so we can load like the majority of the trees on her trailer, and she was going to help bring it to her farm for her goats.
The lady had actually, Addie came to pick up those trees, but yeah, she didn't have a big enough trailer. So her neighbor had actually came and was like, "Oh, I know her." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, she's getting the trees. I'm sorry, I can't give them to you. I already told her she could have them."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, well, let me call her." So then I called Addie too, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to take these trees to her house and I'll take some home." So we load these 2 trailers up. Well, come to find out, I find out the lady didn't even go to Addie's. She ends up going to her house and
drove right past her house.
Drove right past. She had the bulk of the trees. She had like
90%.
90 trees probably. She probably had a shit ton of trees, dude. And all she was doing is letting her chickens sit in them. She didn't even have goats, and the goats eat them. They're like treats. Addie could have used them. She's like over 200 goats. So I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? So next year, if we're doing the slot and that lady comes by, I'd be like, sorry, I'm going to let Addie come and do these. But then Addie got sick. We ended up delivering the trees to her in the Christmas tree truck.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because she was sick, and we ended up bringing her these huge trees that didn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
So she at least got those. She got those huge ass, like 4 to 6 of those big ass nobles we didn't sell.
Yeah.
That were like $400. You remember that dude that came and was like, "I can't believe these are so much money," and they were laying in the dirt, and we were trying to process them.
We only had 2 weeks left in the season,
Yeah.
and they brought us about 8 to 10 of these large
15-foot trees. Dude.
And
that's crazy.
Right as we were unloading them, a gentleman walks up, and he wants to know this price right now. I mean, it takes about 4 people to move these. I mean, these things are
heavy as fuck.
I don't know how many hundreds of pounds. I mean,
they
are.
It took 3 to 4 of you guys to usually move those big ones. We had to roll them actually out of the way.
Yeah, well,
we had to just roll
once
them
we got them off the truck. Yeah, and so I tell the guy, well, if you give us a little bit or come back, let's just say in an hour or so, I'll be able to at least have one of these stood up or whatever. No, I want it right now. I got to have it. I need to know this price right this second.
Because nobody else in town has
those. They were labeled as a noble tree.
Yeah.
And so that price was about $1,200.
$1,200.
And that guy, when I told him the price, he just went ballistic.
Yep. And then we found out they were not a noble.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, they were just mistagged.
After we opened them up, we were like, oh shit, that's not even a noble. That was something else. And it was like only $600. But he even still was like only wanting to pay $200 for that tree.
Because he rushed us, we didn't have time to open this tree and actually see what it was. So I just gave him, I was able to give him the service that I could at the time.
Right, exactly.
He ended up leaving angry and, cussing us out, but
whatever.
I can only do so much when you're dealing with a tree that weighs this, what a car weighs.
Our delivery truck hadn't even left the lot yet.
No, we were still unloading them.
We were still doing, and we were like throwing trees on top of these bigger trees, like because we had to get this thing unloaded. It's just no patience. You know? It was that's all it was. But it was still a really good experience.
Phenomenal season
at the lot.
Met some great people.
Freaking Christmas Day, we're closed. There was a crazy windstorm.
That's right.
Bent the shit out of our tent, and you can go to our YouTube and check out the videos I did of it. It was bent to hell. We couldn't even open the next day. It was so fucked.
It was a hazard.
It was like, oh my God, we had the fire
anytime.
inspection the next day, and I had all my signs up, but the fucking wind blew them into the
That's
corner.
Right. Yeah.
And I have like, and this fire marshal looks at me and he's like, "Did you know you had an inspection today?" I'm like, "Did you know we had a storm yesterday?"
We did. The weather did not.
Yeah. I'm like, all my stuff is here. It's just in the corner of the tent. And I need to go, and I was like, just give me some time. And he's like, no, you're fine. He was like, hang everything up and you're good. He never even came back.
He goes, as long as I don't drive by here and see it not fixed and you guys are servicing people.
Right.
But I mean,
we did.
This year,
it was
in
fixed.
the last lot that we were at last year, the fire marshal was just so hard up on itself. And then this year, there was a new guy, but even worse, at our old location from last year.
Yeah.
And
they couldn't even open for pumpkins for
they
like
were saying
a
that
week.
because the way the angle that they had these stakes, that engineering wise, this was not good. They needed to be straight up and down, which makes absolutely no sense.
Clusterfuck.
And
is what it was.
Yeah, they had to get a crew out from like New Mexico to drive in towards Phoenix to come do that.
Well, the owner and his helper Jose came out, and another guy Miguel came out, and they actually turned all the pipes that were bent, the opposite way. They had to restake, and a lot of the ropes snapped on our ties.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that fucking tent was gone. We lost a flag, a Christmas tree flag is fucking, or firework. It was gone, dude. I remember it was brand new. They just brought it, and I had it up, and I was like, oh shit, that's gone.
It didn't last long at all either. Minutes.
I thought maybe somebody would bring it back. Like, how many Christmas tree lots were there? Just us. But
Morgan, you just found a road sign and carried it back home from a run that we were on.
Say, they probably wore it as a cape.
Why would they bring back our sign?
They wouldn't. You're right.
Turnabout's fair play.
But yeah, and either way, it gives us experience doing this to talk about just everything. Talk to all the community in it.
It was a good season.
It was. We had a really
better than last year.
Great crew.
Yeah, we had a phenomenal crew.
Going from just off the family running the lot last year to actually having like how many guys? We had 4 or 5 guys. We ended up letting one of them go, but we had a majority of guys, and they all worked so hard.
We had a Crip work for us.
Yeah, he was cool. Casey was
Crip gang
awesome.
member. You gotta stop name dropping people though, man.
Oh shit, yeah, I'm sorry.
You've been name dropping this entire thing.
I have been.
Just throwing everyone's business out there.
Sorry, you're right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, this all the people that we got to work with, all the people that we were able to.
He was the best worker that we honestly had. He was the person you did not have to say anything to. If you were thinking it as the manager,
he was on it.
You go to see if it, hey, do I need to do this? Nope, someone's already done it. Casey's doing it.
He was right behind you every step. Like, I didn't have to say anything. He had another tree in the place as soon as one got sold.
He was awesome.
We had a younger guy. It was his first job. So we were his first bosses. I feel like we were cool.
We bought him Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, we did.
Too.
Yeah, we did. And he actually sold little rocks.
Called them mining scenes is what he called them.
He would find these like rocks and tumble them. He had all the equipment in his garage his parents had to like tumble these gems or whatever.
And polish them.
And then he would have like pyrite, like little miners and like trains and like do this whole scene
trees
on this little flat rock. And he sold out, didn't he? Didn't we sell him? Or maybe
I
one?
think he only ended up with one of them at the end of it.
Out of like 8, and he sold, and they were cheap price.
You remember how excited he was when we told him he could sell those there?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Well, do you want any money for this?
No,
man. This is all you. What am I going to take from you?
Yeah.
It was his very first job, and I was actually pretty fortunate to be his first boss. And you remember what his parents said? We tell him all the time, look, man, it's not always like that. Don't think your next job's going to be this cool.
He's like, I know. But yeah, no one would hire him. And
we haven't said his name, have we?
I don't
think we did. So. But he actually, no, never mind.
Yeah,
not gonna say it.
Don't do it. But we had a guy that worked construction, and so I mean, he thought this was like the easiest job. He loved it. He
was so good.
Appreciated so much being there and making $10.50 an hour and tips. And most of these guys never got tipped before, but they got into the tip game, and they would split their tips usually, like if they both helped out with something, and it was good. And who else? We had another schooly guy. Our other school friend, he does IT normally, but he wanted to, I guess, hang out and just make a little extra money on the weekend. So I was like, come on, man. And so he came and worked. So we're schooly friendly guys. We'll hire you if you come down here. We'll give you some extra money. Like, we're always about helping people out that want to help us. And I mean, he came and hung out with us and talked to us anyway, so we might as well
as people had good attitudes and had some sense about them.
The only guy we let go was
just one guy.
One guy, and he just had a bad attitude. That's all.
And we just
I got to be there every day.
Sometimes things don't work out,
yep,
you know?
that's all it is.
He had another business that, he ran, and he might have been too busy.
Yeah,
so no big deal.
Yeah, but we had a really great crew. We would, get them like breakfast. Usually on the weekends we'd get like donuts or like little breakfast burritos. Or
the day before our last day, we went to Taco Bell and we got everybody all kinds of food.
Oh,
and then the last day we actually barbecued because at that we had the table out and we were all sitting around it eating the Taco Bell. And we were like, you know what, tomorrow we should bring the barbecue, do a barbecue tomorrow.
Yep.
And so we did that. After we closed down, drank some beers.
That is also on the YouTube channel. Go check it out. I did a lot of videos of our work camping. Because if you haven't checked it out and you wanted to be in the loop of what we were up to, go to our YouTube channel. You'll see all the videos. I even did a video of the barbecue we did.
Did you?
Everybody was there cooking out. Casey was running the grill.
You like the rub I did.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. We had a really good dinner. And it was nice when we had the guys there because I could go to the store and not feel like I was abandoning you. Like, oh, now he has to run the register and cut trees.
Yeah.
Because last year I would just have to go at like 10 o'clock at night to the grocery store or be like, well, we're not busy. Can I go? And then you'd be stuck doing all this work by yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just not fair.
And is every time you would leave too,
people would come.
People would get together and be like, hey, let's just bum rush them at one time.
Yep.
So now I'm servicing like 6 people, chopping cutting trees off.
Ryan very rarely left, and when he did, it was usually to Home Depot. It would gone like 30 minutes.
You got to go get supplies for something that broke.
He would leave, like somebody would come, and it'd be like this like 8-foot, 10-foot tree that was heavy as fuck.
Yep.
And I'd be by myself.
Can
and
you
I could
help
do
me?
it. I could usually get it. I'm usually
Hell, I would
good
have
at
him help
getting
me.
it.
Those 8-foot trees are heavy.
I got it. I'd cut it. I did everything I needed to do, but I need to get more videos like that of us just working. But yeah, that's kind of what we've been up to. How
long have we been doing this?
An hour 15.
See, we were worried that we wouldn't have an hour.
Yeah.
Man, it's so easy for us to do these things.
It is.
I don't know why it took us so long to get back into it.
We are planning some future podcasts too with some people, some jiu-jitsu guys, some fellow schoolie people. What are some other people we even talked about doing? I can't remember.
Oof. I don't know.
There's a lot.
We have a couple of them. We've had people contact us like, "Hey, why aren't you doing this anymore? I thought I was going to be on here." And man, I'm sorry. When we get done with that lot, it's just because you're there for so long.
Talking to so many people.
12 hours a day, 2.5 months.
Nonstop.
Nonstop.
Except
it's
for
just
weeks.
after it's over, we just like to decompress, like just disappear. The people that were, staying on their land right now.
We're like ghosts.
Yeah, they're like, man, we don't see you guys sometimes. We're either out going and hiking or we're
in
just
the bus.
Yeah, in the bus, hanging out, reading, learning. So
doing our thing, and it's really like we're just tired of talking to people and smiling, so we just want to not do anything. I just want to be, and in fact, the last day I was tired. I wasn't greeting any more people, so I was having all the workers go out and greet everybody. I'm like, here, you need customer service skills. Go out there,
do it,
go do it,
go. Yeah,
and they did. They were like, all right, it's your turn, and they would have to each do it, and they heard that spiel so many fucking times. Even Casey was doing it in his sleep. He was like with his eyes closed. He would go up and just help people when we were busy. Remember, he would just walk up and start helping people.
Yeah, he was the person you had to say nothing.
Yeah, no, he knew. Everybody knew the spill, because something we learned from the Redwoods when we work camped up there. One of the manager there was like, say the same thing every time. Don't waver from that.
Yeah.
And we did. And so I finally got into, well, what are you saying for your spill? And so Ryan and I collaborated, like, okay, what's the most efficient way we could do this? And we figured it out, and we just repeated it over and over again.
Because it was long in the beginning.
Yeah.
And just as we kept getting together, we would shorten it down more and more and more that way. Because people would start getting lost sometimes in it because it was way too long.
It was way too. We're like, oh, well, these trees, because some people cared where the trees came from, and then some people were like, I don't give a shit. It obviously didn't come from Arizona,
Oh, you were talking about people from up north, and the people that would come to the lot, they would just come and say, well, I can't believe you're charging so much for these trees.
There's a tree shortage.
Back in Wisconsin or back in Montana, back in wherever,
where there's trees
aplenty, and... Yeah, no, I'm sorry, man.
I couldn't teach econ. I did. I ended up doing
all
economics.
The forest fires. Yeah, with all the forest fires.
Tree shortage since last year.
And trees are going to be more expensive next year too.
Next year and the next year, it's going to be for another 3-5 years because it takes a foot a year. So if you're looking for a 7-foot tree,
it's a 7-year-old tree.
Oregon fires burned down so many farms.
Millions of acres.
Last year, this past
year, Montana got burned. Yes. Washington got burned. California got burned.
People forget that you're all connected somehow. So yeah, you know what? I get get it. Like, and I don't know how many people I've educated about the tree shortage, and hopefully next year they come back and they're like, I don't have to ask why these are so much money. Like, I know because they've educated me, you know? And I think that's a big part of our life in general is educating people, because we would even educate people how they even got the trees here. Because some people, you know, they take a helicopter.
People would ask, did you guys cut them down here in Arizona?
Yeah.
No, bro, we'd cut all the trees down.
Did you cut them down yourself? No. There's like a thing, dude. Someone's out in a machete shaping the trees all summer long.
It's cool.
Acres and acres and
Watch
acres.
a YouTube video of someone shaping a Christmas tree.
Go to Valley View Trees, and they have it on there. This dude with a fucking machete, dude, he's a samurai, and he's like doing all these, and you can tell which trees accidentally like missed one because they'd have this crazy branch.
Or you could tell this guy was his first year.
Yeah, it was his first year
trimming these trees.
Dude, some of those were fucked up looking. You remember that? And I'm like, we're never gonna sell these. And they were those nobles were like, all right, this one's $20. Let it.
Yeah,
it was like
dude, some of those
tree,
you had
dude.
to let go for.
It was so tall.
They were worse
like
than Charlie Brown.
Poles. They look like telephone poles.
Sure.
And then there was those ones. They're huge nobles. The German people love these nobles. They have these huge branches. They call them Martha Stewart trees because you can actually like put a train set in it, like a whole fucking scene. Because the branches are so. Go to my social media. I have a picture holding these branches. They're so goddamn big. So, anyway. A lot of people like them, but people in Arizona did not like them. They were like, they're the ugliest noble I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe they're this price. And we didn't sell
Frasier's. A lot of people in Arizona don't like either because they do kind of look like a cactus.
I think they're funky and they have a really awesome smell.
They do have a really good smell.
I think
those come from what, North Carolina?
North Carolina. Those came from North Carolina. They smell wonderful.
Oh, you know what? Something we had to deal with this year that we didn't have to last year was the state.
The agriculture department came by of Arizona. They had to come and they had to shake all the trees.
Everyone.
For bugs. If anything fell out, they collected it. They didn't find anything. But, I mean, because here's the thing. We have to spray the trees down every single day, twice a day. So if any insect is even in there, honestly. They're not in a really good spot.
They're finding a new home fast as soon as it gets
our trees, we didn't even have a lot of loss either. We only had a few returns this year. We didn't have a lot of loss. I think the weather helped, though, because it was so much colder down here. We're near Phoenix. Those trees were starting to turn. Remember, we lost, like, a lot of trees last year.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, the only ones that we lost this year was because we
got those old nasty
somebody
ones.
didn't have them covered.
Yes.
They obviously weren't watered because when they came to us, they were dry.
Yep.
And every time they would go to somebody, ours were soaking wet. I mean, we would just turn the water on and just make a little lake.
Yeah, we did. I didn't care.
Because it's Arizona and it's hot still. And
we got to keep these trees covered. And people at distribution, they weren't covering the trees. So we get these sun-bleached trees.
That's right.
And we're like, I'm not selling this to anybody. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's not even like close to Christmas yet, and we're already getting these fucked up looking trees. I thought there was a tree shortage, so now we're cutting trees down that aren't even getting used.
Yeah.
So then, honestly, through the whole season, we're taking numbers for people wanting to burn trees, and usually they were the last people. I don't think we called anybody for burn. I stuck with everybody that was a goat farmer or pig farmer.
Yeah, we tried to help out a local farmer.
Yeah, anybody that wanted to use the tree, not just burn it, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, at the end of our pumpkin patch, we still had a lot. And
God,
we had such a huge turnout. I mean, in about 30 minutes,
30 fucking minutes.
Cleared us out.
I had taken the girls trick-or-treating, and then I left Ryan to just kind of manage the last of it for like the last 2 hours. And then but when I got there, all the people were already there lined up. The girls had a fucking pillowcase full of candy. We weren't out long. I mean, we didn't have to be gone long. We came back with dinner, and they were like just started to clear it out, and they were there 30 minutes.
Boom.
I had never seen so many people work so fast for free shit in my life. It was great.
Oh, but I mean, it helps them out. Think about
the feed.
The feed.
The hogs. Remember the chick, Shelly? She had the turtles and the tortoises, and she fed those huge tortoises, and they love pumpkins.
Not Galapagos. The one underneath them, that was their turtle. The second largest turtle.
Whatever. You have to will them.
Tortoise.
You got to stick them in a will.
Turtles are in water, right?
Yeah. Well, they're in Arizona, so.
No, but turtles go in water.
Oh, he's a tortoise.
Tortoises are not water.
We still need to get a hold of her because I've been wanting to go to her farm still. So that's the other thing. We make such good contacts. We met a guy that does transmission work.
Yeah.
We met a guy that does gold mining. We have to call him because he wants to teach us how to gold pan up there.
I totally forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean,
I got his number.
And he actually helped us set up the pumpkins. That's how we met him through working. But
Yep.
When I noticed with traveling, you can't seclude yourself forever. But I notice whenever we talk, we put ourselves out there. I put the website on the bus. We get people calling us and contacting us, and we end up getting really great friends and relationships
and
from
contacts
these people.
of just different, like a
Different
gold miner.
people.
You know,
Who knows?
Yeah, I'll take you out. You guys come out to the claim.
We walk around in town now, and they're like, "Hey, didn't you guys sell pumpkins?" Or I'm like, "Man, that girl looks familiar." And I'm like, "Did you
went
buy
to yoga?"
Yeah, the yoga class. And this lady was like, "Didn't you guys do pumpkins?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." You know, and
we went to that hot yoga class in town.
And then this other lady comes by. The girls were doing like a jujitsu class or something. And I was like, your face looks familiar. I'm like, did you buy a pumpkin or a Christmas tree from a white tent in town or fireworks? And she's like, yeah, I bought a pumpkin and a tree. And I'm like, that's where I noticed you. And like, so I know I can't place their face because they're not in the tent, but I'm like, I know you and I don't know where, but it's usually because of the tent. So it's really been cool to actually be in the community now though, and like see what everybody else saw. So
yeah.
But I think that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about.
We need to do one on last year's weight loss and where we are now, what we're doing now, and have we kept it off? Have we not?
Ooh.
Have we gained any? Have we lost more?
What are we doing? Are we health freaks?
We gained a little bit.
Yeah,
I did at least.
I'm actually maintained. I got up. I got up to. I got a few pounds on, and then I went down. But I want to talk about that on another one.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. I'm sorry it's been so long, but you know how it goes. We just had to like not be
decompress
for a little while.
Not be, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're still listening, thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Your fan base. I hope you're following us on Facebook because I'm always posting articles.
Hopefully you learn something.
Yes, to educate and
guys, we're not perfect.
No.
Sometimes we're just like everyone else. We get in our little lazy spells as well.
Yep.
So
don't worry.
We apologize.
Well, did we do a recording of our quotes?
Yeah.
We did? Okay, then I don't have to say it.
See, it's been that long. You don't even know what you have anymore.
Oh, my God, dude. We barely got this shit together.
Get your life together.
Well, I hope everybody's having a great first 3 months, 4 months of the year. And
and hopefully
listening.
You're kicking ass in 2019 because 2019 has been awesome for us. And I hope 2019 has been awesome for you. And if 2019 isn't kicking ass, hey, it's never too late to make some changes. So
exactly.
It's the beginning of the new year, and hopefully you're going out and making 2019 your bitch. We should leave it right there.
All right.
Later, guys.
Later, y'all.
We're coming to you from our 49 square foot podcast studio, 100% powered by solar in our schooly Chitty Bang.
You can find our shenanigans online at thecrabshomestead.com and Talkin' Chitty on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow our schooly life on Facebook at Chitty Bang Schooly and Instagram at The Crabs Homestead.